All right, so I appreciate everybody coming out here to put a luncheon here and to try to get some good ideas. A wise man once said, "You can spend all your money, you can always make it back. But once you spent your time, it's gone forever." So it's how you invest your time. That's really your most valuable asset. And today, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about really how do you create profits in a business. And I know we have a couple of nonprofits here, but just because you're called nonprofits, you still need to bring in revenue, and you have expenses to cover, and then everything else is left over is what you really run your organizations on. So the concepts that we're going to be talking about here today can also be applied to even a nonprofit, no matter what, whether even if you're just in sales. These same concepts that we're going to be talking about a little bit today. What I want to do is start off. I'll tell a little bit about what my company, ActionCOACH. I own and operate the local franchise here in Jacksonville. We're the world's largest coaching firm in the world. We got more coaches around the world than some of the other coaching franchises combined. It's over 1,000 coaches around the world. There's even coaches in China. Okay, we were in 39 different countries, and the thing that's unique about us is we're coaching like 15,000 different businesses every single week. So we have come in from all shapes and sizes. So whatever business challenge or problem that's been out there, we have seen it, because the challenges among businesses, no matter what it is, the challenges are really common. So that's a little bit about our company. What I'd like to do is share a little bit about my story and what I've been doing. I've been owning and operating this franchise here since 2004, so for the last 10 years. My background's been in sales, advertising, marketing, and marketing research. And really what I've done is what I love about this business is I get to work with small individual business owners and help them to discover what is it that they want out of life. What do they want? Why did they get into business in the first place? And then help them to develop a plan and strategy so they can go over and achieve that and to really have more life. So, in 2012, I was an ActionCOACH Marketing Coach of the Year, been part of the president's book. So that's a little bit about me, and I think I was a chamber member years ago, sort of left, and have just recently come back this year, so I'm glad to be part of the Clay Chamber. I mean, I think there's a lot of really good things that are going on here, and I'm glad I'm able to be up here and present and give you guys some ideas and help really grow businesses here in Clay County. So for us to be able to start off to get the most out of our learning here today, what I need everybody to do is get rid of that I know attitude. Because what I'm going to be talking about here isn't brain surgery stuff. It's basic business principles. So because if we have that I know attitude, what happens is that we shut off everything else and we don't really pick up the different things, the little ideas that we might try to do. Because what I want you to do is think about some of the things that you might already currently doing in your business. And then what I want you to do is see is what can I do? How can I use that to improve that strategy? Okay, does that make sense? Okay. So just a show of hands. How many people here own their own business? How many people work for somebody else? Right, how many people own their own business but wish they worked for somebody else? I'm not sure what the people laughing or the people raising their hands. Okay. So my job here today is really to teach you some ideas on how to grow profitability. And in business, it's all about attitude. And that line there is the line of success, right? And my question the things I'm always working on with my clients on and their teams is, are we playing above the line or below the line? We all know people in our lives that act below the line. They're blaming others, they're coming up with excuses, or they might be in denial that they might be the problem themselves, right? It's they're lying in bed and it's opportunity by opportunity by opportunity is passing them by. They wake up someday and say, why is this person more successful than I am? And the reason is the attitude. It's because they played above the line. When we play above the line, what we're doing is we're taking ownership of the challenges that come our way. We're accountable for the results that we want, but most important, we are responsible. We are response-able. We're able to go ahead and take advantage of it. And what we try to do is we're human. Is it always possible to play above the line? No. a bad day. And you might run into Ernie one day, right? You can't say that. You would.
Say what?
But the thing is that we just have to recognize it. When we're having that bad day, we start going below the line, and then we just sort of give us ourselves our own little slip kick in the butt, and boom, go on. What I do with my clients is I go over this with their team and say, hey, when Mr. Business Owner here, when he starts falling below the line, you need to let him know. Because most of the time we don't recognize it. Sometimes we need somebody from the outside looking in and letting us know, and then this way it's just a quick change of attitude will help us move forward and see the opportunities out there instead of complaining about why this is happening to me. So my goal here is to help you generate better results in your business. All right? These are some results that I've generated for some of my small business owners here in Jacksonville. A couple of my clients this year are going to be on the Jacksonville Business Top 50 Fastest Growing Companies. Another client reported to me yesterday that his revenue for this year, just through June, for the half of the year, it hit the $2 million mark, which is more than what he did all of 2004 when I started working with him. Okay? Another client reported that he's got $100,000 more cash in the bank than he did the same time last year, right? So are these results, do you think that this is possible in your business? Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to show you a formula that will show and prove that this is possible. You can do these numbers. You can get these. I want you to put a 46% increase in profits, 61%, or in revenue, 61% increase in profits. And I'm going to show you how you can do that in your business. Okay? So let's think about most businesses. Is your business, your job, is it driving you, or are you driving your business? Right? If you think about it, most people, even if they own a business, really what do? They just bought themselves or own a what? Job. Right? What does job stand for? Does anybody know?
Just over broke.
Just over broke. Very good. Because most of us in business, all we try to do, we plan to just make sure that we have enough money to pay our bills. And if we're smart enough, we make sure that we actually pay ourselves so we're one of those bills. But a lot of small business owners will just pay their bills and then forget that they need to earn a living also. And that's why we're struggling all the time. So it's just over broke. We don't own a business, we own a job. Right? So and the difference is about the attitude. Is you need to start thinking about how do we work on the business instead of in the business. So what do you think the number one reason for business failure is? What? Lack of planning, right? That's sort of a symptom of it. Cash. What? No written business plan. Right? I get help with all those things. But it's burnout. And what causes that burnout is all those little things. Or you get the burnout and then you stop doing those things that made you successful. And it's all about the most important space in your business, which is right between your ears, right? Okay. So what is our definition of a successful business? It's really simple. Anybody read this out loud together.
Commercial, profitable, and enterprise that works without company.
Right. That works without, because if the business can't work without you, the business is broke. If it can't work without you, you don't have a business, you just have a really nice job. Right? So what we want to do is we have to work on the business instead of in the business. All right. So within the ActionCOACH, we've been doing this for 20 years, and we find that to be able to create that commercial profitable enterprise, there's 6 steps that we need to work through. I'm just going to run through these really quickly. So those at that mastery level is we need to eliminate chaos in the business, to get some stability in the business, to get those fires out. You're not putting fires out every day, right? The next one is working on niche. This is where we create predictable cash flow in the business. Right, is we now have cash in the business that we can start investing in the business, so we can start working on the leverage system, becoming more efficient and saving our time. So then once we have more time, we start working on building our team. We're structured for growth. And now we have to start working on which one of our team players are going to be the people that are going to replace us in our business. right? And then it works to the top of the line is that the synergy in that investor level, because the biggest investment that a small business owner has is their business. And you need to start working and figuring out right now is how do you create a valuable business that somebody wants to buy one day, because that's where you're going to get your biggest return. But if you were in the business and as soon as you sell it and you leave, all the value of the business leaves, you don't have a business, you just have a really good job. Right? So today what we're going to do is we're just going to focus today on the niche. How do we create predictable cash flow in the business? Does that sound good? All right. So it goes out here. So let me explain this. Most businesses know how many customers they have, how much revenue they have, and maybe you know how much profit they have, right? Okay. But what do they all have in common then? They're all results. Those are the end thing. But what do we need to do to get more customers? What do we need to do to generate more revenue? What do we need to do to generate more profits in the business, right? Because revenue doesn't you can sell more, but if you don't have your business structured right, priced right, you can sell yourself into bankruptcy. And really, profits, in essence, profits is just the theory, right? It's just on paper. You don't really turn that profit into cash. That's a whole other problem that you can have with cash flow. We're not going to talk about that today. So all these things are just results. So this is where we're going to get excited. This is the formula, and then we'll go into a little bit here. There's 5 profit drivers. So these are the results that we want, right? Customers, revenue, and profit. So and this is really simple. It's really basic. So if we break it down to 2 factors, what are the 2 factors that drive more customers in the business? Anybody have an idea? Really simple stuff. Don't overcomplicate. What? Referrals is a part of one.
Value.
What?
Value.
No, value is, this is hard. This is something hard. This is something you can count on. It's really simple. We've got 5 different areas. It's number of leads. So referrals is a way to generate. It's a strategy to get more leads, right? And then the second one is how many of those leads that I get, how many do I convert, right? So it's the same thing, no different than, instead of if you're a nonprofit, it's not a customer, it's a donor, whatever you want to call it. Right. So now how do we turn that customer into revenue? So what do you think are the 2 things that we have to measure that will drive revenue in the business?
Closing ratio.
What's that? No, we already got closing ratio, that's the conversion rate. So once we have our customer, what are the 2 factors that will drive revenue?
How much they buy, how often?
Very good. Okay? So not necessarily how much, but it's the average dollar sale. What's the average ticket when they do buy from me? And then, most importantly, is how often do they buy? Right? If you're a nonprofit, it's how often do I get them to donate? Right? And then the last one is really simple, it's profit margin. When I'm working with clients, this is the simple formula. When it comes to leads, we might break that down and to say, where are my leads coming from? And then what's my closing percentage within each one of those lead generations? Because then I know where I need to start putting my advertising and marketing budget. So it's all about the concept of divide and multiply. The more we break it down, we can figure out where the bottleneck is and how do we then fix that to grow the business. So the first one is lead generation. So there's a variety of different ways for us to grow the business. And what I want to do here today, what I do as a business coach, the biggest asset that I have to my clients is I ask questions. And I get you to think about your business. So I'm going to start asking questions about getting you to think differently about lead generation in a second. But are some different ideas that we have. How many people here use social media? In there? Okay, very good. So what's so great about social media?
Free.
It's free. Okay. Low cost. Leverage, right? The thing that I love is you can see the results. I do a message on social media, I get a click through. I get somebody to respond and download a white paper, or I get somebody to register for a newsletter, right? We could track our closing percentage and see what we're doing better than if you go and advertise in the newspaper, you advertise on radio. Because you need to be able to understand what is the I've worked in radio and TV for 20 years before I started this company. So, and that was always the hardest thing, is how to do it. You need to test and measure all the different lead generation processes that you use to find out where your referrals, where's all your leads coming from. All right. So the questions you need to ask is, one, how many leads that can you handle? If you just doubled your advertising budget and got twice as many leads, can you handle that much business right now? Or would your service level drop because you're dealing with so many people? Okay. The second one is, how much money are you spending on lead generation? How much does it cost you to buy a lead? Marketing is just math. How do we figure out a cost per lead? It's really simple. Look at the end of the month. How much money did I spend in marketing? How many leads? I spent $1,000 in marketing. I got 100 leads. My leads cost me how much? $10. Boom. So the whole idea is, what do I do to lower that acquisition cost for that lead? And then if I sell one customer out of that 10, how much does it cost me to buy a customer? $100. Right? So if I know that every customer costs me $100, then I can sit down and say, well, if I'm going to do a referral policy, I know I can offer them $100 because that's about what my average is. Okay? So those are things of your database. You have a database of your non-converted customers, people that you've gone to in the past that didn't buy from you, right? Because for some reason they might be back in that market again, right? You just might have caught them out at the right time. So the next one is conversion rates. USP. Does anybody know what's a USP?
Unique selling proposition.
Unique selling proposition. What makes you different than your competition? Not necessarily better, but different. I'll give you a great example from, it wasn't one of my clients, but it was another ActionCOACH client. He told me the story. I thought it was great. That one of his clients, he had a plumber. They won this big award, and I don't know if it was from the business journal or the chamber, and it was this big banquet, and he's dressed up in the tux, and his wife are going to go out, and he's really happy. And right before he walks out the door, the phone rings. And his wife gives him one of those looks that if you answer that phone, I'm going to kill you. See that? You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So just going, the way the system's set up, if I'm getting this call, that means no one else could have answered the phone up to this point. So I got to answer. So he answers the phone, talks to the woman. It's yes. Okay, no problem. I know where you live. I'll be by in a minute. I'll take care of it. He says, what are you doing? It's like, don't worry. It's a simple problem. It's a referral from really good customers. You need some help. It's on the way to the event. We'll go. So he gets out. He gets to the door. He's got his toolbox. Knocks on the door, and the lady opens the door in a mouth truck. Why? Never seen a plumber in a tux before. So he goes in and out for 5 minutes. Boom, customer's happy, and he's off, and his wife's happy, and they're off to the thing. But the most amazing thing happened was that whole next week, he kept getting calls saying, "Are you the plumbers that come in a tux?" So it wasn't that he was better, but people started talking about him. He was different at what made them stand out. So that's what it comes out to USP, is what makes you different than your competition, not necessarily better. As a real estate agent, you're no different than any other real estate agent. So what makes you different than all of them? You're no better. You offer the same services. You're doing the same things, right? But what can you do? The next one is offering a guarantee. A guarantee, you put a guarantee in place. I was working with a financial advisor. He said, well, I can't offer guarantees and stuff. And I said, what are your clients most afraid of? So if you were a financial advisor, what's your biggest what? Or when the market's going down and I want to get hold of my advisor and I can't get hold of him. That's what I'm afraid of. I want to know that you're going to respond. So we created a guarantee that I will get back. If you call me, I will get back with you within 24 hours. Guaranteed. That was his guarantee. Why? Because he wanted to show how that he's going to respond to it. Okay? So these are a variety of different things that you could use to be able to, just strategies, these are just some strategies you can use to help gain better conversions of your customers. All right. So now here's some questions. How do you measure your conversion rates? You know, with some of my clients, I was working with one of the older pool dealers here in Jacksonville, pool contractors, and we started measuring every part of his sales process. You know, from the time they got a call to how many appointments that they made, from how many appointments that they made to how many proposals that they were going to do, and then from proposals to customers. And we measured that conversion rate in each of those steps. And he saw where his salespeople were the weakest. You know, were they not being able to get to the proposal? Were they not being able to get the appointment? Whatever it is. So you break it down. So you look at your, you know, what is your sales process? Do you have a written sales process? You say, here, this is how we go out and sell it, give it to somebody, they could duplicate it. You know? Do you get a better conversion from any particular source of lead generation? Right? If you know that you get better leads from referrals, then the idea is, how do I can close them better, how do I get more referrals? What do I need to do to support that strategy? You know, with the offer and guarantee, you have a sales script, right? Most good salespeople I know hate scripts, but a script doesn't have to be word for word. In some cases it does, but it lets you know, your salespeople, let you know that these are the words that work all the time, right? So the next one is transactions. What can we do that we could get our customers to come back more often? So the first one there is a VIP or a frequent flyer club. Has anybody been on is a part of an airline frequent flyers club? That's what that is. They want you to fly back with them more often. Or a newsletter. How many people here send newsletters out to them? I had this one client. It took me, I've been coaching him here for about 6 or 7 years. He does non-destructive testing. Does anybody know what that is? I have no idea what non-destructive testing is. All I know is trouble with product. I need to know what you do, because most business challenges are all the same. But one thing, it took him a year for him to implement this newsletter strategy. And what happened when we did it is he was out at one of his biggest clients that was in waste management. He inspects these big boilers and stuff. And his client was there when he's at the end of the job and said, "Well, I haven't seen your newsletter come out. Have you sent it out yet?" And he was like surprised because he never thought anybody read it. So he went in and said, "No, it's ready to get sent out. I was waiting to get back from this job because we've been here all week. It should be out when it comes out." He goes, "Great, because I send it out to all the other plant managers within our system. I think it's great." And so he was all happy with that. He went home and he told me this story and he was all excited. And I said, "But you forgot to ask the most important question." What was that? What do you think? Yeah, who did you send it to? Those are the same guy that was in the same position that was his customer there. So he got the list of it, and the next year he was able to double the amount of boiler inspections that he did with this company. Each boiler inspection is worth around $15,000 to $20,000 in revenue in the business. Wow. It's worth it to do a newsletter. Yeah. Stuff like that. So there's a variety of different things that we can do. I mean, the simplest thing is McDonald's. McDonald's goes and asks you, what would you like fries with that, or not? Doesn't have ours, but going in and getting you to come back is what restaurants use is the little. That's what I'm thinking of. The ticket. You buy from me 5 times, boom, you get it to come back in the 6th. So there's a variety of different things. Social media is another way of being able to communicate people and get people to remind them to come back. I have a client that started collecting emails of all their customers, and now they started going in and when they have different things, different events going on. It was a landscape nursery, and they started getting their customers coming back in, and now they have a more loyal following than they ever did before. It's a lot. Once you've bought a customer and they come in once, every time they come back in, that's all pure profit for them. You already bought them. So it's a question. What are you doing to get your customers coming back? Look at what other people in your industry are doing. Are they doing something else, right? And then the question is how often could somebody buy them? Because sometimes you might need to offer something else to get your customers to buy back, to come back and buy from you. Working with like a HVAC company. Right? What do they do is they sell service agreements. That's increasing to get you to come back over and over again. It's that reoccurring revenue that they're trying to do. All right. Next one is average dollar sale. How do we increase the average dollar sale? This is going to go back and use the McDonald's example. Going in and asking, would you like fries with that? I was in I was meeting a prospective client at a bread, and I was just going in, grabbing a cup of coffee, and all this food and stuff like that. Not once has anyone ever asked me, would you like a Danish with that? What would happen if just 1 out of 10 people would just say yes to that question? Just think of what the average ticket would be. Think about what the profitability increase would be. Just by asking one simple question. Okay? So those are just some different things. Player D clients. You know what that means? What does it mean?
You get rid of the bottom tier of your client base so that you can service your top tier clients better.
Right. And how do you fire your worst clients?
Charge them double.
Right. I did that. I had a CPA.
Seriously?
No, I had a CPA did that, and it was just this one guy who was just sucking up all his time. We kept calling him all of that. So I said, let's raise his rate. So he raised his rate a significant amount, and the worst thing happened.
You paid it.
He paid it. That's not man. And so boom, boom. So I said, raise his price again. Raised it again. And he paid it. He didn't mind paying for the service. He just wanted this guy's attention. He didn't care if you're going to just say this is what your rates are. Great, that's what I'll pay you. So he's now one of his most profitable clients. All right. So some questions we need to do. So do you know what your average dollar sale is now? Because if you don't, then you can't. If you don't measure it, you can't prove it. All right. Do you have a goal that you want to do? If working in that nursery, what we did is we set up strategies that we wanted to increase the average dollar ticket in the landscape nursery. Last year it was at $55. This year what we did is we did some sales training with the nursery staff, and we went from $55 to $65. Don't have to sell any more to make more money, but you have to have these strategies and a plan in place to be able to do that. The last one is profit margin. We need to test and measure what's working and what's not working, and what's not working, get rid of it. And one of the first strategies I use when I do this, usually lead generation is the last thing I work on because it's the most expensive, right? But one of the first strategies I do that's for profit margin, I get my clients to measure where their leads are coming from, and what's not working, we cut that out immediately. Let that go to the bottom line. And now we'll sit down and figure out what is working and put more money in it. And what we found out over the last couple of years is things that are not working, and they're starting to focus and investing more money in social media and their websites and stuff like that. Because it's getting a better return, and they can measure it. They can see what they did. Okay? So what are some profit questions? Do we know what our gross margins are in the business? What product or services have the highest margin? One of my clients, when I first started with him, he lost his biggest account. And I was like really worried because I thought this was like about 6-7 years ago, and I thought, I'm going to lose this guy. I just got him. And so I just asked him a simple question. Out of all the products and services that you sell, what's your most profitable? What's got the highest margin? He told me, and it's like, great. Let's start promoting that because it was low-hanging fruit. It was a high-margin ticket, and it gave him enough cash flow to sort of survive that loss of that client. And then we were able to until eventually it was down the road, and it took 3 or 4 years later, but he got that client back. Some of the other questions is who is handling your admin work? If you think that you're worth $100, $200 an hour, is what you're charging your clients, or you should be charging your clients, but you're doing the admin work that you could pay somebody $15, $10, $50 an hour to do, it doesn't make any sense. Figure out a great profit margin strategy is hire somebody to do the lower level work so you can go out there and focus on doing profitable work in the business. Okay? There's some more questions, and we're going to finish up here right here. So, Have you gone through and graded your A through D clients? Well, which clients are your most profitable? Are you spending more time with your D clients than your A clients? Right? When was the last time you maybe gone back, negotiated with suppliers, or tried to sort of quickly reduce costs? But the thing that you have to realize that you could only cut your costs so much before it's going to affect your service and stuff like that. You need to really be testing and measuring your advertising and marketing and seeing what can I do to grow my business to increase profitability instead of the other way around. So those are just a quick way, and I just want to do a quick summary. These are different strategies. These are questions that you need to ask yourself when you're trying to figure out to drive your, build your business and build your profit. So let's put some numbers to that formula that we put together. So let's say with the number of leads, let's say that currently we have 400 leads. We close 25% of them. It gives us 100 customers. Each customer buys from us 2 times. The average ticket there is $1,000. It's $200,000 in revenue, 25% profit margin, $50,000 in profit. Right? Nice and simple. First question is, do all of you know what those numbers are in your business? If you don't know what those numbers are, one, you can't improve it. You've got to measure that. Okay? That's probably one of the toughest things I have to force my clients to do sometimes, because it's not a natural thing. So let's see what happens. How many people here are hard workers? Right? So if you work even harder than you are right now, can you generate more business? So would you rather learn how to do it a smarter way?
Yes.
Okay, so let's figure out how to do it. All right, this is the hard way. Most people come to me and say, hey, I need more business, so I'm going to generate 50% more leads. All right, so I get 600 leads, close 25% of them, get 150 customers. My average transaction sales stay the same, $300,000 in revenue, and get 75,000. How many people would be happy with that? It's like double your revenue and double your profit.
Oh, I gotta take you. That's right.
But I would say you'd be exhausted. You have to deal with 200 more customers, and 50 more customers, and 200 more leads. So this is the smart way. We'll end up with this. All right. So it's the Action Coach way is I get you to measure everything, but then we're going to go ahead and implement strategies in each of these 5 areas. So now instead of going and doubling our leads, we just need to increase it by 10%. So do you think it's possible in your business to generate 10% more leads than you currently are? What do you think? Yeah. All right, so that's reasonable. Same thing with conversion rate. You don't need to double your conversion rate, just 10%. Just add a couple of different strategies to go from 25 to 27.5%. So now instead of 150 customers or whatever, we're 121 customers. But we're also going to work on getting some of our customers to come back from us more often. And everyone's going to raise their prices 10%. We just do that. But there's other strategies we can do. So our revenue is at $292,000. Is that higher or lower than working hard? No, before it was $300,000. But who would rather have more profits than revenue, right? But if we also focus on increasing our margins, we're now generating $80,000. So if we look at it, working harder, we're dealing 160 more customers, 30 more customers. We're getting $7,200 more in revenue, but we're making less money working harder. So this is where you need to know. I guess we're that's where the 46% revenue is, and 61% increase in profitability by just going 10% in each of those different areas. So, any questions? I have a couple.
We have a lot of people in the chamber here that are individual sole proprietors.
Okay.
And one of the slides we focused on was, if I'm not in the business, how do I control?
Right.
How do you address that with somebody who works by themselves?
Okay. Give me an example of
Mark Corrella, website development, web development. He goes on vacation, there's nobody working.
Right.
All right. How do you maintain that consistency with a one-person operation?
What do you think?
So I'm asking you.
You're a coach. I asked questions. All right. So the simple answer is you need to sit there. Where do you make your money? You make your money when you're what? When you're out selling, you're talking to customers, or you're closing business, right? That's where the most value is. Why don't you create a team of people that do the lower level work, where you then now that frees you up. So when you're gone, the business is still working. So even sometimes depending on the type of business that you're in, okay, so you're in real estate. So what about hiring an assistant to just do some of the lower level paperwork that you have? So you get out there and you can see more people, or they're more set. The appointments are confirmed up. You don't have to waste your time doing that little administrative stuff. You're spending your time doing what's your profitable actions. Does that make sense? Does that answer the question?
Yeah, no, but if cash flow is a problem for a small business, how do you justify additional staff?
Follow this formula. That's why it's niche is before systems and team. You have to create that predictable cash flow in your business so you can go in and afford a team. So once you're starting to generate these profits, one of the things I recommend my clients do as they're trying to build up is set up a profit account. Because what you usually do is when you start making more money, start spending more of it. So take part of that money and, okay, you're making more money, put it into a separate savings account that you're not going to touch. You're not going to touch. At the end of the year, you can either take a year-end bonus from that, or now you have some cash flow that you can go in and hire somebody with and know that you can pay them until they start earning their fees.
One more question. If somebody should decide they want to retain your services, I don't want you to talk numbers, but what's the pricing structure of your fees?
A lot of it depends. It can go from, I could recommend a $10 book that you can buy on Amazon that talks about all these strategies to, I have a workshop coming up to create a 90-day plan, which is a couple $100 to goes on up depending on the size of the business. So I work with small individual people on a group basis and then individual businesses on a one-to-one basis.
So individual business based on the size of the business?
Yes, size, and if I'm coaching just one person or the team or whatever. And that. If anybody would want to get a copy of this presentation, of the PowerPoint, if you just give me your card, I'll email that to you. I'm just going to flip through the end here. One thing, everybody needs to know what these numbers are, and I'll end with a couple of quotes. It's not necessary by Warren Buffett, not necessary to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. It's doing the little things that make the big difference in the results of the business. Don't wish your life was easier, wish you were harder. You gotta work harder on yourself than you do in your job. And back to Coach Founder, it says where you're going to be in 3 to 5 years is going to be depending on the books you read, the people you meet, and most important, the actions that you take. So again, I appreciate your time here today.
Does anybody have any additional questions for Steve at all?
Yeah, I just wondered a little kind of question, but I just want to say if you haven't picked up one of this month's emotions, you got Ask the Coach in there. He answered a question. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask him, send over to me, and I'll pass them on. We'll get them put in here so you can get some answers to your questions. And also have his site and his number in case you need to get in touch.
Right, there's my website and blog. Yes.
Are we able to get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah, that's what I said. If you give me your business card right now, I'll email that to you. And
anybody else have any questions? That's great. All right, before we do the door prize drawing and the 50-50, anybody have anything they want to add at all? Did you get to see your pictures yet? Not yet. Okay. All right, so where's the? All right, so Hazel from Community Hospice donated a. Where's the business card? Yeah. And where's the basket for the business card? Is everybody business card in here? All right, so Hazel from Community Hospice has donated a $25 gift certificate for Island Life Grill. This is good for alcohol and food, I would imagine?
Yes.
Or strictly alcohol?
Everything.
All right, so everybody's card in here. Randy, did you tear yours off?
no.
If I pull yours, you're ineligible.
No.
All right, winner is Community Hospice.
No,
you can't do that.
I didn't put a card.
That's illegal. What do you mean to put a card in there? How did it get in there, magic? All right,
I won. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? You should be able to win.
No, I'm kidding.
No, there's no reason she can't win.
I don't want to win.
Don't have an attitude. Wendy didn't have an attitude like this.
Oh, so you like her better?
No, I don't like it. All right, well, that's very nice of you to decline. Sue Myers, Aflac.
She was just talking about
Yes, I did.
Now we have a 50-50 raffle. How much money we got in there, Mama?
We have $6.
$6 for the winner. Small crowd. $6. Good. Sue Myers, if you win this, then you can buy an appetizer. All right. Why don't you pick a card, pick a ticket? So.
It must be.
All right. You ready? Are you? All right. So Hazel, are you eligible for this?
No, I'm not.
Why don't you get mad? I just asked them. 534. Last three numbers. 534. Good, Mary. All right. So it's a small check about the history of the chamber, and you win.
It's okay.
$6.
It all counts, right?
Very nice. Does anybody have anything else they want to add?
There is an after hours tomorrow night. I saw over here at
5
the
o'clock
Hilton
to 7
Garden.
o'clock at Hilton Garden Inn. Free admission, great networking opportunity, plus open bar. And appetizers. No, there's alcohol, just it's not open.
I was gonna say, yeah.
When I have an event, it's wrong.
Frankie's Place?
Yeah, when I have an event.
Oh, really?
And any other thing else coming up that we need to talk about?
Teacher Expo is still.
Next week we've got the Chamber U. It's on the understanding the Affordable Care Act federal subsidies, which many people do qualify for. We've got Clay County Untapped on the 24th, like she said at the beginning, and then we have Teacher Expo on the 4th. We also are selling booths, tables, vendor spots for the Business and Health Expo, and
That Untapped event, please, let's support this if we can.
There are flyers, if you can take those back and hand those out also, that would be great.
Courtney, can you drink yet? Are you allowed to drink yet? No? You'll come anyway. Okay. I'll get your big ID from them.
All right.
All right, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you.
Me too.